Let's zip around Zandvoort. All right, Zandvoort's back up. That banked corner, the really high banked, like turn 3 or whatever it is. Oh, that gets me. I still don't think I've got it like down, but I was able to get us a 136 445. I think the fast guys will be doing 34s, 35s, somewhere in there. But I was pretty happy with the time I was able to get. Hopefully during the races I'll be able to get into the 36s. I think I'm gonna have to back out quite a bit just to not spin when I do these. I end up spinning a lot. I'm just trying to push and get the times down, but it helps me so I can back off a bit and still have speed. That's kind of my philosophy with these things. But let's go ahead. We'll show you the quick lap that I was able to get, and then we'll talk through it, what I was thinking when we were doing it, and we'll come back with some final thoughts after that. Here we go.
That lap was a 137.00. Sector 3 time is fast. Sector 1 time's okay. Sector 2 is 2/10 off your best. Your lap time was at 136.44. That's your quickest lap.
All right, Porsche Cup at Zandvoort. Fixed setup. Got ourselves a 136 445. We'll go through how we did it. Haven't touched anything on the setup. No brake bias, normal, everything like that. Full throttle through this first corner, our first braking point. I use the end of this barricade here where the smaller one starts. That's my first braking point that I use. I'm gonna get on the brakes pretty heavy and use a bunch of downshifts to get the car slowed down. We'll get down to fourth pretty quick, and then third as we're easing off the brakes a bit. Turn in the car, and then we'll drop to second partway through this corner here. Still easing up off the brakes. There's second. I'm gonna keep it in second for the rest of this. Just get the car rotated. Doing all those downshifts helps slow us down. And we're turning in, and I have one of the things that I ran into while I was practicing this was, we're getting back on the throttle as we come around here, just a little bit. Trying to keep this too tight going in like right around here, and I'd spin. So that's just one of those things to keep in mind. You got to open up the wheel, and then we can get back on the full power. But we can't keep trying to pull the car this way. It's gonna wash out, and we have to let it do that as we get our full power. We're gonna come out all the way over to the left here. Get our left wheels onto this curbing, and we're just gonna go full throttle through here for a bit, and then towards the end of this, like right about here-ish, like halfway through where the bend comes out, we're gonna start getting back on the brakes. So back on the brakes, and we're gonna get down to third and come through here. This is the hardest corner for me. I'm still nowhere near consistent with it. This one coming up, the super banked one. We're just holding that brake pressure, and then we're gonna get accelerating. And the way that I started out doing it was getting the car way up over here and just riding the top all the way through. But coming down and accelerating through here, not going all the way out to the top, but we're gonna come down through where this darker patch is. We're gonna hit the brakes to get the car to turn down. We have to have that little bit of brake pressure to get the pressure on the front wheels, and then we're just gonna coast a bit. Let the car come around. We probably hold a little bit of brake pressure through here instead of just coasting like I did. We gotta wait for the car to come around, and then we can start applying throttle. We can't slam on it. We just have to bring it back on slowly. We're holding a bit of pressure. If we come on too quick, it'll push us up into the barricade. We don't want that. We also don't want to come out too high on the top. We're on full throttle. We're gonna hit this curbing here, but like we don't want to hit that with too much. It's a little, there's an angle to it on this part where it's wider, so you just have to be careful when we're coming out. It's really easy to get up on this, and just it's got less traction than the track part of the track, and yeah, it's really easy to hit this and just send your car way over here. So we just have to be careful. It's taken me a bunch of practice to get this corner down. This is what's taken me a bunch to do, but we get through that. We're full power, and we're just gonna hold full throttle through this whole next section, and then come through the left here. Now, this I would like to be out wider when I come in for it, but when I do that, 50-50 chance I touch the grass, and just the slightest touch on the grass at this really high point where you're cresting, you don't have a bunch of weight on the car. It's coming away from you. It just sends me off. So this is kind of conservative, taking it on the inside. We are going to hit the brakes when we get up to the top here, and this is where I would like to be a little further out, but like I said, I'll hit the grass 5 times out of 10, and if we do that, just the slightest touch, we're gonna spin coming down the hill here, because again, the traction's not super a lot here. These are all properly constructed sentences. We're not goofing up at all with our English. But we're just holding a bit of brake pressure. We need to get the car's weight to shift down onto the turny wheels, and get us to turn in. And we're gonna start downshifting. We were in 5th coming up to the top of there. Yeah, so we're downshifting to 4th, and then 3rd. Again, this is helping our braking, and getting us to shift the weight of the car forward. Onto the ground again that's falling away from us. We're just holding that brake pressure, keeping the car turning until we can finally come around and put some power back in. And it would be nice to get on it just a little bit quicker, but I have trouble doing that. We've got a lot of wheel ins, so just be careful with that. Coming onto the power a little bit later would make that easier if you're having trouble. Yeah, we're just full throttle through here. Then towards the end of this curb is where we're gonna hit the next braking. Hit the brakes. Not super heavy here. I could probably be a little bit lighter than I did on this lap. We're just gonna downshift and turn in gently, holding that brake pressure to get that turn in, get the weight on the front wheels. And then we are going to accelerate back out. We're going to carry a lot of speed through here, so we got to be careful when we're approaching this next corner, because this is all one big curve, and we want to brake in a straight line. And this is one thing that I kind of helps me out, is when we get around to the 50 marker here, I need to try and straighten the wheel. We've been turning to the right. When I get on the brakes, I'm straighten the wheel out, so we're gonna brake in a straight line, because we always want to brake in a straight line when we're applying our biggest braking force. We want to be going straight, so we're not asking those front wheels to do too much when we're asking them to brake a lot. But as we ease up off the brakes, we can start turning the wheel again. We're gonna get down to second as we turn in here, and we're gonna just hold that brake pressure, get the car turned in, and then we're gonna start bringing some throttle back. We have to wait until we get the wheel straightened out more, so we don't strap the invisible string that's tied between our pedal and wheel. So there we go. Got the full power, and we can turn in just a little bit more here. We're gonna try and line up our next curve. It's gonna be here. We want to get over here-ish so that we can open up the next corner. So we're going over to the right. And I'm focused on this access road as kind of my braking point, but we're going to brake a little bit before that. But that's where my mental reference is. Probably could think of it as this patch of dirt here. But that's just where I do it. Again, we're going to kind of straighten the wheel out a bit as we brake in a try to brake in a straight line here. And then as we ease up off the brakes, we can start getting the wheel turned in. This is a really easy corner to spin out on. If we get on the throttle too fast here, the weight has shifted. We're asking a lot of the weight of the car to move, and if we get on the throttle too much, it's going to spin the car. We're just turning in. But the curb there didn't really mean to do that. It worked out on this lap as our quickest lap. Now we're straightening out the wheel, and then we can get back to full throttle, and then we can ask the car to turn a bit more. And then we're full throttle again until we get to the 100 marker, which is going to be our next braking point. And we've going pretty quick again, so we're gonna have to brake pretty heftily and to this braking zone, just as we downshift, kind of aiming for getting into second here. Not super in a rush, but we want to get down there, and we're just gonna hold a little bit of brake pressure. We're gonna clip this sausage here. We come over, get on the throttle a little bit, and then we're just gonna ease off, tap the brake just a smidge, get the car rotating, and then we're back just a little bit on the throttle once we get here. We've got a lot of wheel turned in, so we can't really just slam on it. We gotta wait and wait and wait until we can get the wheel straightened out, and then we can go full throttle. Use this curbing on the outside. Again, there's less traction on this, so just be careful with it. And then we're going full throttle through here until we get to the 50. And here, I early on, my very first instincts, we're just gonna hit the brake a little bit and coast through. I wanted to get back on the throttle on the exit of this like way earlier than like I ought to, so that was my first instinct. So just if that helps you out at all, I'm just gonna hold the brake a bit longer than my instincts told me. So we're just gonna get on the throttle here, partial throttle, so we can get the weight shifted, and then we can get full throttle. Open up the wheel. We got a lot of banking in this corner, so we can just hold full throttle. If we get on it too early, we're gonna end up, where did these tracks come from? I wonder what happened. Yeah. If we get on the throttle too early, that's what happens. So we're just gonna go full throttle through here, and is one thing to note, I'm trying to use as little wheel as possible. Since this is just full throttle, there's not a whole bunch of variation you can do. Using more wheel is gonna scrub the fronts a little bit, use them up a bit more, and slow you down. So we just want to use as little wheel as we can. But yeah, it's just full throttle from here on out. And as we go over, we got ourselves a 136, 445. That turn 3, man, if I can get that down and consistent, I think I can do pretty well. I had to practice it so much that I ended up getting all the other quarters a lot better than I normally do on these things. So excited for the races, but I traditionally have not had good luck at Zandvoort, so we'll see how it goes. Thumbs up if you liked the video, thumbs down if you didn't. If you think I earned it, hit the subscribe button. And if you want to watch along live when we do the races, twitch.tv/thepiltdownman. We'll see you next time. Bye.